Greetings everyone, my name is The Shiv, and today we're going to talk about the awesomeness that is Warhammer 40k Inquisitor Martyr. Whether you're a fan of Warhammer 40k or action RPGs or not, this is actually a pretty legit and good game. Now, disclaimer, it is in early access, as it says up in the top left corner, alpha build. I kind of like the fact that they put that up there. It kind of really takes away a lot of arguments people make in, forums. It's like, oh, this game should be so much better. I can't understand why it's not so much more fleshed out and complete. It's right there up in the left corner. That's why, motherfucker. It's an alpha build, alright? But it's a playable alpha build. And I can tell you right now, spending a lot of money and time playing early access games, this is probably one of the more functional alpha builds I've ever played. Even Dark and Light kind of fails in comparison to how functional this game is. And also, it doesn't give me a black screen bug like Dark and Light did, so yay. I am going to put out another disclaimer. The initial cost to get in is a little high, $50. Alright, $50. They did have it on sale to where it was $44, and if you got it previous in the Founders Pack, you could have gotten it for like $35 to $40 some odd dollars. So the price has increased as time goes by, but again, from the time when they put out the Founders version to where we're currently standing, the game has changed quite a bit and it's become way more functional and way more fun to play, in my personal opinion. Now, I've only been playing it for a few days, but I honestly think that this game is pretty fucking amazing. Now, I've come from games like Diablo 1, 2, 3, Path of Exiles. I've played all of them, alright? So I have a base understanding of how these games should generally play out and some of the features that were available in some of these games and other of these games. And I'm using that as a comparison for how I feel about this game. And this game kind of encompasses many aspects of a lot of action RPG games, but then adds in their own unique twist, which I think is exactly what this game should aim to do. You take from already a successful track record of how these things are normally played out, and then you put your own spin and twist on it and create your own uniqueness. And the game has actually created that in several different ways. But let's go over a couple cool things here. Alright, so here we are with our Crusader. There are currently only two archetypes that you can play in the game. There's Crusaders and Assassins. And within those archetypes, there are sub-specializations, alright? We went with the I like to blow shit up demolitions expert guy. Come on. And yeah, so he mostly rocks like the big rifles and things of that nature, but he doesn't have to. He can actually go with anything he wants, but he is a heavy weapons specialist, so once we unlock something better than a heavy flamer, we're going to be using that. Come on, grenade launcher. But it's actually a really fun kit. Now, the other one that's available right now is the Assassin, and I haven't really played around with the Assassin. They've generally not been overly appealing to me. Doesn't fit the concepts of how I want to play, so I haven't really looked into them too much, but I will be looking into it later just because it's always good to get a base comparison. Now, there is a third archetype that is not available yet. Not available yet, and that is the Psyker. Alright? For those of you who are wondering what a Psyker is, because you're not familiar with the Warhammer 40k universe, okay, a Psyker would be a sorcerer for any fantasy realm, with a big sword that crackles with a psychic energy that'll basically rip through the fucking flesh like it was nothing and can pretty much slay almost anything. Their magical ability is drawn from a subspace dimension known as the Warp, and it kind of comes with a little bit of a downside and some dangers here. The Warp is also where chaos entities exist and where some dark shit happens there, so playing around with that too much can lead to corruption, can lead to a lot of bad things, and, well, herein lies, the rub of it. You're an Inquisitor. It is your job to fight against these things. Now, again, for those of you who don't know Warhammer 40k universe, I'm going to try to break this down in the simplest terms as possible. When you have a galactic imperium or empire that is literally hundreds of trillions, if not thousands of trillions of people, you're going to have to not so much worry about large-scale combat, but you're also going to have to worry about the insidious rot that starts out small but grows. And that's exactly where the Inquisitors come in. Now, Inquisitors for the most part, are broken into 3 major houses. One deals with alien corruption and things of that nature. They're known as Ordos Xenos. You've got one that deals with chaos, cults, and things of that nature. That would be Malleus. And then you've got the Mutant, which is... Malleus is, deals with, like, the witches and things of that nature. And then you got Ordos Hereticus, which deals with... It's kind of confusing, in all honesty. It's been so long since I've actually read through the Eisenhorn trilogy. But for pretty much, suffer not, the Mutant, the Witch, or the Xenos Scum. Alright? Those are the 3 primary ones that they actually deal with. And they go about doing investigations, trying to root out causes of issues on individual planets. And because of this, because their job is so important, they're pretty much given complete authority in every single situation. An Inquisitor could go up to a Space Marine and go, fuck you, and shoot him in the head, and the rest of his chapter can't do shit. Alright? He could go up to a planet's governor, pop him in the head, and say, he's chaos, because I said so. No repercussion. He can go up to a Lord of Terra. This has never happened, and I'm pretty sure there might be some problems with it. Cap one of them, and again, no questions asked. They are given almost complete authority and autonomy to protect the Imperium. It is scary and cool at the same time, especially when you actually understand that the entire culture of the Imperium is based on human first, everything else die. Alright, so they're very xenophobic, they're very much religious bigots as well. They will not allow any other culture besides the God Emperors or the Church of the God Emperor. Anything else is considered heresy, and you will be killed for it and burned alive. I'm not even joking. There are nuns with fucking flamethrowers in this universe, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, they take their religion seriously. Alright, so moving on gameplay-wise. The game actually plays a lot like many other action RPGs. You got your mouse for movement and aiming. It's also used for attacks as well. You have 2 primary attacks, your left click and right click. For the gun we have right now, that's a burst fire and a sustained full auto. But you also get activatable skills, and those change depending on the weapon you have equipped. Now, for instance, we have here the auto gun, right? So that means we're going to have a aim shot ability as well as a retreating fire ability, which is actually kind of cool, and for certain tactical aspects is going to be required. Now, of course, like I said, there are other weapons, and here we go, popping out the good old plasma gun. For those of you who play Warhammer 40k, you know how awesome plasma guns are, and you also know their downsides. Quick note, though, as you're playing the game initially, plasma guns are going to be really, really good for dealing with elite engines, demon engines, chaos engines, space marine engine, whatever. Any kind of metallic type thing, these things are awesome. But if you're dealing with just regular cultists and the normal swarms, this is your best friend right here. Alright, so the combat is actually really cool, but one of the cool things I like about this is the cover system. I think it's actually really awesome and adds a unique sort of flavor. So it's not all, run gun, pop a heal pot, run gun, pop a heal pot, run gun, pop a heal pot. No, I mean, that is a good portion of it, but you could also use cover to your advantage. And there's lots of different skills, perks, and affixes to your weapons and gear that'll actually help encourage you to use the cover system, because you get more regeneration, you can do more damage, and so on and so on. But you know what? Let's talk about that. Let's look at some of the cool things we have here. So here's the skill tree. And when I say skill tree, I mean skill trees, because there's a bunch of them. And this allows you to customize your character exactly the way you want, which means there's going to be some optimized builds that are out there, and it's going to be kind of cool. So yeah, I have yet to figure out how you actually go about removing, I think, yes, okay, so you can actually just remove, right-click, any points you've spent, so you don't need to worry about resetting or anything of that nature. I haven't tried that yet, so we're learning. But yeah, you can pretty much build any single way you want. Now, I know some of you are going to go, oh, well, that means you just dive to whatever the big, huge thing, which would be right here. And yeah, that's where you go. Yeah, not necessarily so. Read every single one out here. Like this one, 1.5 to range damage. Okay, that's cool. That's actually one of the areas it wants you to start on. But you can also start, say, over here. Hey, look at this. Increase range weapon damage by 5% when target is slowed, shocked, stunned, or frozen. Well, guess what, guys? That whole withering fire as you're, retreating or retreating fire, that actually puts a slow effect on targets. So this would actually apply. Not bad. And oh, look, there's another one. So we can actually get that up 10%. Not bad at all. And then, of course, here we go. Increase critical hit chance for channeled skill by 3... +3 provides second charging time bonus barrage. Yeah, cool. It's just it gets all kinds of good. Grants a minus 30% reload time bonus for ammo fired weapons. Hey, you know that autogun? That's that right there. So we can actually just stay in the battle pretty quickly. Plus 5% movement speed while using heavy weapons. Again, that's pretty good. If you can move around the map a lot faster, you can outrun things and always get in better positions. And this is just the range combat. You also got single target here, which would apply to my auto gun quite significantly. You got physical attacks, which also would apply there. Aim shots, which would apply there. You got criticals. You got everything you possibly want here. So you have a great amount of customization. Now, I know what some of you are going to go is like, yeah, but what's the limitation here? I honestly do not know. I honestly do not know this because that is based completely on your account level. So every time you gain an account level, you get another point there. All right. You get another point there. So we're at 7 here, which means we've got 6. And then we came with 1 already, so that's technically 7, 8. And we also were able to unlock a few of them via the Heroic Deeds system. That's something else we want to talk about right now. So Heroic Deeds, what are these? Well, as you can see, they're challenges. Deal 1 million points of physical damage. Boom. Hey, look, an attribute point I can put anywhere. Skill branch, Warframe. Now, attribute points are different from skill points, to be perfectly honest with you. And we'll actually get to all that. All right, so what are attribute points? Well, let's get back here. Here's your attributes. Now, as you can see by looking at this, every 5 levels you put into this, you unlock a different section of it. So right here with Warframe, we're about ready to activate this next one, which is Deflection plus 5 bonus, right? That's actually pretty good. 5% bonus to deflect attacks. So, yeah, that means anytime you're deflecting a shot off, it actually gives you a 5% better chance of actually doing that, which is good. That's a defensive thing right there. It's awesome. But as we're moving in, mobility plus 5 movement speed. That's pretty cool. Now, if we were using a heavy weapon, we had that skill. That's now a 10% movement speed, so we can move around quite quickly. And there's affixes that can be applied to weapons that can also make you move quicker and this, that, and the other. So, yeah, these attributes are pretty damn good. Toughness here, we can actually start being a little bit more tankier, being able to regen life, being able to sustain the battle a little bit more. Kind of cool. Virtue, this is mostly a very interesting area, and I'm really still not sure how to judge this, but some of this stuff here is actually really good. Vigor restore, 0.5% of max HP and max suppression resist for every focus point spent. Now, focus points are used for using your weapons, or not your weapons, but your armor special ability. Hey, let's get to that right now. All right. So here's your gearing. Now, when I said your armor special ability, we use demolition armor, which allows us to have that big rocket pod on the back there. And it allows us to do a barrage kind of attack on a group of enemies. This is actually really, really good when dealing with large-scale groups, or if you're going up against a really big-ass boss, because these rockets actually hurt the shit out of them. A lot. So that's always a good thing. Now, in order to fire this, you need focus. And focus regens slowly over time. Killing things doesn't really help it whatsoever, so if anything you can get to make that process a little bit faster is a good thing, especially when you get to much later game content. You're going to want to have that thing constantly, you know, recharging so you can use it, so you can survive the battles, because, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, there's not an unlimited supply of healing potions like you'd find in, say, Diablo. True fact. Alright, while we're here at gear, let's talk about certain classifications of gear, because that's an important thing. Now, we're going to go through the actual rarity system and how it applies. So, you've got your common, also known as vendor trash. You've got your master crafted, also known as slightly better vendor trash. Not even joking here, guys. You've got your rare. Yes, here's where they kind of flip the script a little bit. Rare is better than master crafted. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I'm okay with it. All right, and there's definitely a difference here. Like here, you got the auto pistol. Notice the master crafted sells for $6.76. Now we go over to the rare. It sells for like almost 3.5 times more. Boom. So yeah, rare is better than master crafted. And of course, one up from that, you get your artificer rarity, and the next highest one and the final highest one is the relic. Yes, we have a relic implant. It's awesome. So you can get a relic based equipment here. And now what relic is, as you can see, it has like 4 stats versus 3 here. And from what I understand, you can actually get even more stats on there, and that's a whole nother process for a whole different video. So yeah. Now, you have generally 3 different areas here. You got your head, you got your body. This is technically part of the belt with this, and in all honesty, they could fit it right there and not even have this section here. And then, of course, you have your weaponry system. You can carry 2 weapons at a time. As you can see, we go with the plasma and we go with the autogun. And yeah, that's pretty much it for gear. Each one has its own unique thing. We're using a personal void shield, and there's quite a few different options here we could have taken. We could have taken deflectors, we could have taken grenades of different calibers and different types. And as you're leveling up, you're going to have access to a bunch of different ones of these. And they're all going to be pretty cool. Personally, I like the void shield. It allows me to tank a lot of damage while putting out a lot of damage. Great for those boss battles, great for those elite mob battles. So yes, we like the force field. There's also another one called Digital Weapons, which gives you a massive damage boost. So if you want to stack a bunch of boost attacks and all that, Digital Weapons is really good. Probably an assassin's favorite tool. Just saying. Alright. Let's get to crafting, because this is actually a really interesting part here. Now, crafting is not overly unique to action RPGs. There's actually been quite a few of them. And there we are, just salvaging some stuff here and there. But yeah, so crafting is kind of pretty much vanilla, like it is in almost all of them. Get these mats, put the mats in, craft something. So yeah, we'll let's see. What do we want to make? You know what? We're gonna make a bolt gun here. No. Actually, we'll make another auto gun. Or should we go with the plasma gun? You know what? Let's go with the plasma gun. Yeah, let's do the plasma gun. Alright. And it's going to take 54 minutes. Yes, it takes time to actually craft something. Now, I know a lot of people have complained about this in the forums. Like, why the hell do I got to spend... Trust me, guys, this is nothing. Wait till you start crafting the artificial stuff. That's like 4 to 6 hours, depending on the item. But there are ways of lowering this down. So, yeah, let's go ahead and start this craft here. And this is going to take, boom. Now, when I said there are ways of lowering it down, you actually have a tech tree. And one of the first ones you can get is right here. We'll actually lower it down a little bit. So, yeah. Now, you'll see we have this known as Forge. Power increases chance of salvaging crafting materials. Yeah, that's kind of cool. We have other things that we could also unlock here, and they have certain requirements. As for how I feel about the crafting system, I think the time spent in it is a little bit too... I think it's a little too extreme, but again, I understand why they have it this way. It stops people from basically trying to cherry pick the perfect stuff. repeatedly, and it forces them to possibly have to, spend more time in game actually looking for gear rather than trying to craft that perfect set, which I guess in certain ways is kind of unique. Now, here's another little system which I haven't gotten to play with yet because I haven't advanced this far yet. It is the Sanctified Fusion. In theory, what you do is you put a main item you want to kind of strengthen. You put it in here, and then you add in, lesser crap tier stuff on the outside. And what this will do was actually increase its power level. And in the case of, say, relics, like the one I have now, it can actually add another slot to it, because relics can, in theory, have 6 different affix slots. So that's actually pretty damn awesome right there, guys. It's pretty awesome. Alright. And of course, we've also got, PvP, which is a very unique type thing, which we haven't done. We have co-op, so we can play with our friends. We've got the inoculator here, which allows us to customize our healing potions to be a little bit better. Right now, we're just doing a base heal and a base stim boost. But as we get to higher level inoculators, we'll get like another slot open there, another slot open there, and we can do some really cool customizations. There's 3 different types of components we can put into inoculator. You got your salves, which are mostly restorative effects. You've got your bolsters, which are mostly boosting effects. And then you've got these down here, which basically modify these 2 up here or do something completely interesting. One of which is increased capacity, so you can actually have more uses of something, and etc., etc., etc. It's kind of annoying to explain, but it does relatively work. Alright, but you know what? We've done a lot of talk, and we've looked at all the cool stuff here. Oh, by the way, Retuin placeholder, so there's definitely going to be some guys we can carry with us and probably discover later on, and this would be very accurate to the Inquisitor mythos from the books and things of that nature. So I'm really looking forward to that. But you know what? We've done a lot of talk. Nobody wants to see talk. Let's go blow some shit up. Alright, so here we are in our mission. This is a hunt mission, which means we have to go and kill certain targets. We're going to kill everything anyway because, that's just how we roll. Now, there are a couple things you must consider when doing hunt missions. 1, item level. 2, what you're facing off against. Because obviously certain weapons are going to be better. And if you know you're going up against certain classification of things, i.e. the cultists rather than rebels, then you're more likely going to run into chaos. And the main faction of chaos right now is Nurgle, though there is the word bearers as well. So, but most of the time it's going to be Nurgle. And I'm going to warn you right now, Nurgle is a little bit of a pain. So here we go. We're doing our nice little keeping at range. Now he's behind cover there. As you saw, my shots basically bounced into the wall. So we went to Plasma, which, surprise, surprise, actually does not give a shit about cover most of the time. Or it'll just nuke it. Alright, so now we're we're moving forward. There's an alarm beacon. We got to take this out because that'll just start summoning a lot of things right on top of us, and that's not good. We do get a couple here. And again, we're keeping range. We don't want to get too close. Now these guys right here, they make a bulk of the damage you're going to be taking. Simply due to the fact that their range, and they're kind of like giant machine gunners, right? Now we're trying to basically hit this, catch a bunch of them, and boom, look at that, using terrain to our advantage. Now as you notice, as we blew that up, a lot of other things blew up around it. There is some pretty destructible terrain in this game. Pretty much almost everything is destructible to one degree or another. Alright. Constantly keeping that out there. Alright, that guy right there, he is a melee guy, and he can do some serious damage. We're just going to unload at range. Finish him off. And yeah, so we use a lot of backing away and a lot of strategic placement in order to kind of clear this out. Alright, so we're going to go grab some medical supplies, hit this chest. 9 times out of 10, the chests don't really have any gear. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but most of the time they don't. So you should always expect the chests to be kind of meh. Alright, we're going to try to pull this guy. Boom. And that's going to pull his little friend there as well. Alright, so we're just keeping him at range. As soon as he has a direct line, he's going to do this kind of get over here thing, which zooms right to your face. And if at higher difficulties, they will actually hit you for a good chunk of your life. Very good chunk. And if they crit on you, it's even worse. Alright. Now you might notice that down in the bottom left-hand corner, we've got this weird-looking thing that looks like a keyhole with, you know, a rainbow around it. Well, the rainbow itself is your suppression meter. At green means you're completely unsuppressed. Yellow means you're kind of getting suppressed. Red means you are overwhelmed, you are getting fucked. When you're in red, you basically aren't moving very fast. Damage is slightly increasing on you, and it's kind of annoying. So you always want to try to keep that in green. Now the red little keyhole itself is actually your health bar, so yeah. Alright. So we've got another chest here. Now we're going to go up these stairs and see if we can find any more stuff. And lo and behold, we discover there's a dreadnought there. And I'm sitting here going, oh, no, 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 no. I don't want to approach from this side. No, 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 no. Camera angling is somewhat of an issue here, but in all honesty, like, I've seen a lot of different threads on how they could possibly fix the camera. I think the camera is fine right now, because the moment you put any sort of fix this, that, and the other, or auto swing, it always messes up, and it always drives people crazy, and they always want to have the option of being able to control itself. The fact that they have this as a default, I think, is a really good idea. Alright, so he's got a lot of little friends. When engaging a dreadnought, you always want to deal with the little friends first. In general, I like to take the range guys out before I get to the melee guys, but unfortunately that guy is constantly ponderous and coming at us. Alright, so we've got... oh, well, he's going to chase us around, and that's fine. We can kind of, you know, take the line. But we're going after the Space Marine because, well, they're annoying. Chaos Space Marines are... not to mention, I've got like a little quest thing that if I kill a certain amount of them, I get a whole bunch of fate, which is a currency used for a lot of things. Okay, so we're trying to fight him here. We've got him low. Other people coming in. We've popped our Void Shield. We're now into our Plasma. We're like, now, it's time to burn him. We're just going to nuke him down. Our Void Shield's going to basically tank a bunch of damage for us. And look at him. We kill him, everything is gravy. So we've got a couple of Chaos Space Marines here. We're again doing the whole backpedaling. It's a good plan. And we're also trying to weak. But you notice we've hit suppressed, and we're not moving nearly as well. Now we're overwhelmed, so we're in real danger here. We're getting into cover. Unfortunately, these guys are using rockets, so they can kind of negate our cover. But we got back into the yellow here. We took out one. He's shooting out a lot of explosives. Back into overwhelmed, and we got him down. Woohoo! That was a little bit of a rough fight there. The ads coming that were Space Marines really made that a little annoying. Now we're just kind of waiting for everything to get charged back up. We're charged, and I'm going to rotate around, figure out where I want to go. And I've decided I'm going to go up here. Mostly because there's no other place I could go. Alright, so we're just going to keep farming these guys out. Backpedal and backpedal and backpedal. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie, guys. If you're thinking you're just gonna run in guns blazing, you might be able to do that for, you know, in the early portion of the game. But once you get much higher up, and when I say much higher up, not that much farther up, you're gonna not be able to do this. It actually is very punishing to that. Now here I tried to be really slick. I was like, hey, if I could just nail that, and yeah. But nope. Ended up failing. Their little melee guys came running up on us pretty damn quickly, so yeah, we had to backpedal. And now we can destroy it, but nothing was in range, so it didn't really matter. But then I'm looking over here, and there's two containers we could possibly pull these shenanigans off on. Alright, so we're trying to lure a big chunk of them here. Pardon me. And boom, we got it. We also ended up using our suit armor ability just to make sure that we got that. Strategic placement, some people might agree with it, some people may not. Either way, it worked and it looked pretty. Was it completely necessary? Absolutely not. Was it a lot of fun? Absolutely yes. Alright. So moving forward, going up And we're looking at our mini-map, and we see that nice little red circle there, and we bring up the red map to see how close that actually is. And lo and behold, we hit a trap. Every so often, you're going to see these little skulls on the ground. They're going to have a laser beam thing there, and if you run across it, it's going to trigger something. And in this case, a bunch more guys. And holy crap, here comes that Dreadnought with all these guys. I am not going to be able to straight up fight this as is. So what we need to do is we need to thin out the herd, while avoiding all this big damage from the Dreadnought. Now, Dreadnoughts, or elites themselves, have kind of a dedicated pathing area where they can't go beyond a certain amount. So what you end up having to do here is kind of play cat and mouse with it. You're the mouse and you're just constantly tormenting the cat. You know, a little Tom and Jerry action. And if you don't know who Tom and Jerry is, you got it. Alright, so we've gotten most of the ads to path over here, but my god, are they laying down some firepower. So we can't stay in a huge little battle there. And oh, yes, here comes a Dreadnought making my life hell. And there's a Space Marine over there who blasted the shit out of my face. So we're going to run away, let our natural regeneration go. Kind of getting our suppression back up, while still blasting the hell out of these champions. Those champions are annoying as hell. And there's that Space Marine, and he's just hitting us again. He's gonna nuke our base. And he is down. Alright, so we still have this one last guy. And I believe there's like another batch in the back as well that I will have to deal with. Yep, there is. But I'm thinking maybe we could just finally do this down. Alright, so we're going to unload everything. When we go full auto with our auto gun, it shreds the hell out of their suppression, which is really good. That means they're not moving as fast, they're not nearly as combat effective. So that allows us to get even more damage when we're using our plasma here. And as you can see, we're doing a lot of damage with the plasma. A lot of damage. Boom. Completely shreds it. While I'm not a huge fan of the plasma gun for general combat purposes, it is definitely a specialist weapon that works really good against Dreadnoughts and any kind of engine. Alright, so just clearing up, mopping up all this excess crap. We're gonna have this guy here just being annoying. And there's another little cool thing that you get in this game. Kill streaks and massacres and unbreakables. Those little things add that, you know, cool little EP feel that I think games should aim for. Now there's a couple issues we're gonna get here with movement and camera placements. As you can see there, I'm trying to click, but because there's a frame placement there, it's causing a lot of issues. This is one thing I really wish they could fix in some fashion in the near future. They probably can, but it is what it is. Now, I could have easily solved this problem by using my arrow keys, which, sure. I could rekeybind those to WASD, sure. But, no. I'm not going to do that. It just doesn't feel right. Alright. So we're going to clear this hallway here, and it gets a little dangerous. And again, I'm seeing these barrels. I'm like, maybe we can. Nope. And fucking flamethrowers, man. Those are great suppression tools. As you can see, that flamethrower alone wrecked a good chunk of my suppression meter. Now we come in here, and that's not good, ladies and gentlemen. Remember when I was saying flamethrowers wreck my suppression? Yeah, there they go. So we just popped that out, catch a bunch of people. We did some damage to the turrets there, but not significantly enough. But the better portion of this, we were able to shrek the hell out of that Space Marine, who is a pretty decent DPS character. Alright, so we're going to clean up slowly as we get there. Alright, so again, they're flamethrowing. At this point, I'm going, you know, I think we need to bring on that plasma. So here we go. Rip. And we continue on. Now we can see the last elite in our hunt mission, and it's that other Dreadnought here. But look at all the guys down there. Now we're going to have to play this a little smart, get in a good positioning, kind of lure them out again, and then backpedal it out. Because you never want to deal with a boss or an elite when you've got all these other little guys around there. They will end up just killing you while you're focusing on the boss. This is like World of Warcraft basics for raiding. Always kill the ads. Alright, so he's going to come down, and interesting side note about siege engines. You notice how a guy got in front of him while he was shooting, and he killed his own guys? Yes, dreadnoughts are honey badgers in this game. They don't give a fuck. Now, we've taken a lot of suppression. We've lost a good chunk of our life. We're going to basically backpedal here, and as you can see, we hit his area of operation limit, and he's going to go back and start regenerating. Yes, because, you know, Nurgle, they never fucking die, and they regenerate pretty goddamn quickly. It's annoying as shit. But it is what it is. Personally, I'd like to see some of the other ones, like Slaanesh, in this game, where the more damage you do to them, the more damage they do to you. I think that would actually be pretty cool. Not to mention the fact that Slaanesh has some of the coolest looking demons in the game. But again, that's a future wish I'm really hoping to see. I do know Dark Eldar are in this game, though. Alright, so kind of looking around, we've got most of them, and I'm pretty sure I can pull this guy, and yep, there we go. We're actually going to just do this all with plasma right now. Now, plasma, like lasguns, has a slight issue when it comes to heat, and as you can see there, we are very, very overheated. He is coming up to us, and we have to wait till our heat gets down, but we have our void shield, so we can take some damage, and he just melts. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much the entirety of the mission. But we're going to go and finish up because I know there's some chests around here and some possible loot drops there. But reality is, likelihood we're actually going to get any kind of loot off of them that was even worthwhile is sub 1%. So once you finish your objective, you don't have to stick with it. Unless you're really trying to farm out for crafting mats. Which again, not overly that needed. But it is what it is. Me, personally, I love killing everything, so I'm a completionist kind of guy, so I have to actually do it. Now, there's some weird buggy stuff when it comes to, like, the different levels of platforms that causes some movement issues. As you can see right there, we were having a little bit of a problem. Just a little bit of a problem. Alright. So, clear them out. Kind of a shitty use of our suit weapon ability, but I like using it. It's a lot of fun. Interesting side note, there's actually a heroic deed that requires you not to use your suit ability a certain amount of times while you're doing missions, and if you do, you get something special. I think it's an attribute point or a heroic deed, or no, it's actually a perk, if I remember correctly. It's called traditional. It's kind of a weird thing you have to do, and I highly recommend doing this in the early portion of the game once you get yourself where you pretty much keep people down. It'll be the best time to do it. Because 25 of those, as you get up in the higher levels, and then you're sitting there going, oh wow, if I just use my suit ability right now, I'd kill this dreadnought, but no. Alright, so we're going to go up there, and we're seeing a lot of guys there, and it just keeps increasing, and then I see why. They're hordes type deal. So we go full auto here, which is a lot of fun. There's the kill streak. Yeah. Reload. The problem with some of these is they get right behind you. Really annoying. And that is everything there. So, boom. Alright guys, well that is the whole playthrough there. It's an amazing game. It really is. I like it. Now this is slightly an expensive game. Alright, $50 for an early access. So if you guys don't really want to suffer through the learning curves, don't want to suffer through some of the bugs and balancing issues that they're going to inevitably have to do, then I recommend not getting this. But if you're a die-hard 40k nerd like I am, if you love yourself some sci-fi awesomeness, if you like your Diablo-type games and all that, and you got the money to spare, and you want to try something new, then this is definitely a game. One of the cool things I like about the company that's doing this is they actually have a roadmap that is pretty fucking awesome. That roadmap is very detailed, and they've hit every single one of their stops on the roadmap from the beginning of it. So that is quite impressive. They normally, every month, they put out a small little patch to deal with stuff, and then they put in a big patch that, you know, fixes a lot of optimizations, adds new stuff to the game. One of the newer things that they recently added was a new two-handed chain sword known as the Eviscerator. For those of us who've played Warhammer 40k, the tabletop, we know exactly what the Eviscerator is. That those things were massive, and they did shit tons of damage to targets. They were great. So yes, now that's a weapon we can actually get here in game, and I'm really looking forward to playing around with it once I get up to that level to use it. So yes, that is awesome. But they are constantly adding new stuff, and some of the things that they have desires to do is having overall, like, investigation story type deal, and they're going to be doing this within, like, a season type thing, where, you know, people are doing these investigations towards this, and it'll lead to a certain outcome. Games Workshop has been doing stuff like this for quite some time with, like, say, the 13th Black Crusade of Abaddon, and so on, the Battle of Cadias and whatnot. And it actually affected the game in very unique ways. And because this is a digital property, the developers can greatly do a lot of things with that. And I think that's going to be awesome. The fact of the matter is, it's a Warhammer 40k game on top of a Diablo-like action RPG. What can you not love about this? This is hitting all the fun spots in my heart. A lot better than Deathwatch did. That was bad. That was really, really bad. I wasted money on that game. But this has been a great experience, guys. So anyway, that's going to be all for this video. I hope you like it. Till next time, as Shiv saying, stay safe, have fun, and may the God Emperor bless you. Peace. I'm out.